on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I, of course, am Aozander, you, and we will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. What is today? Today is Sun's Day, aka Sunday, April 26, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Starting with, and we have a 30-page document for you today here, starting with the year 757. Paolo Orsini replaced his brother Pope Stephen II as Pope Paul I. Alright. 1289, following weeks of bombardment, the city of Tripoli fell to the Mamluks under Kalawan. The Mamluks massacred all men they found and enslaved the women and the children too. So, yep. And that was an old work of art. So from that, 7 centuries ago, 1326, the Kingdom of France and the Kingdom of Scotland agreed on a treaty of mutual aid at Corbeil. That's pretty big. Mutual aid against who, you may ask? Well, of course, Britain, you know? Well, yeah. Although, unfortunately, now Scotland is fully, firmly under the control of the English. But at least the Irish are, partially out, halfway, or two-thirds. I
don't know what their political deal is. Who controls who?
Well, I know that there's there's Ireland, and then there's a section of the island of Ireland that's controlled by the British. But there is Free Ireland as well. So, what else do we got here? 1336, Italian Renaissance poet Francisco Petrarch famously climbed Mount Ventoux. So that's you don't really hear that too often. Somebody who's more in the literary arts, a poet.
Yeah.
In this case, climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
That's unusual. Now, this next article, actually, I found that it was on neither source this time around, so I don't know where this came from. Czech King Karl IV founded the Charles University in Prague, which was later named after him and was the first university in Central Europe. All right, so maybe that happened, maybe that didn't, maybe they're trying to erase that from history, or maybe that was just both sources saw that it was erroneously dated. I don't know. So, I don't know. But if anybody wants to find that out, let us know their findings, in the comment section. That'd be great.
Yeah.
1392, Korean Confucian scholar and statesman Jeong Mong-soo was assassinated on the Seongjuk Bridge in Gaeseong, which is now in North Korea. A brown spot on the bridge still said to be his blood. Wow. I kind of want to go and visit that, but it's in North Korea, so I want to not.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, no. 1478. What are you doing?
My hands are cold.
Oh, okay.
But you'd be the tallest person in town.
That just makes me an easier to find target. Find the tall white man. There he is.
I see the head.
Yeah. 1478, Pazzi conspirators attacked Lorenzo de' Medici and killed Giuliano de' Medici in Florence. Jeez. During High Mass in Florence Cathedral. Wow.
Jeez.
According to the other source. Yeah, that's what it says right here. The Pazzi family, so there was a family. The attack on Lorenzo de' Medici kills his brother Giuliano during High Mass in Florence Cathedral. Wow. Killing him in the house of God. What a yikes. 1514, Copernicus made his first observations of Saturn. All right, I'm going to look that up here really quick. That's for the future. Let's see, Nicholas Copernicus. So, yeah, right here, there's a thing here to read. Copernicus was a Polish astronomer who studied in Italy. In 1543, Copernicus published On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres. In his book, Copernicus made 2 conclusions. The universe is heliocentric, or sun-centered. The Earth is merely one of several planets revolving around the sun. Thus, I think that coincided with... wait, wasn't the Protestant Reformation later than this? Wasn't that the 1600s? Because wasn't that the... one of the beliefs of Protestants, or not Protestantism, but Lutheranism, the Lutheran Reformation or whatever. I guess just the Reformation. I don't remember what it's exactly called.
Where are you going with this?
Didn't they say, or their belief is that the Earth is not the center of the universe, and at the time the Catholic, belief was that it was, or something.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1564, William Shakespeare was baptized in Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire, England. The date of birth, though, is unknown, his actual date of birth. Now, there's a conspiracy theory out there suggesting that, and their primary argument is just with the amount of literary works he produced, there was no such thing as a human named William Shakespeare. It was a portrayal of somebody by many people using that pen name. But the actual human being didn't exist, or so the theory says.
I find that hard to believe.
But the sheer amount of works he did, though, almost is unhumanly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you know, like he has so many massively hit plays and everything, like the Othello and all that stuff. Hamlet, you know, that's one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, tons of stuff.
Yeah. 1607, a Jamestown expedition made first landing in America at the place named Cape Henry in what would become Virginia, but they quickly departed for a better site. So if anybody lives in Cape Henry, you know, or around it, you know, just know that your place was so terrible that not even the settlers wanted to give it a whack. So I just wanted to, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to showcase. No, that's not it. There was another map. Oh, this is what I wanted to show really quick. So here's the Jamestown colony in Virginia. In North Carolina, the lost colony of Roanoke, if you know anything about that.
Do not.
It's a very interesting story. An entire population, like this, you know, there's this ship they sent out or whatever, or like the ship left back for the home country.
Okay.
And then, you know, they were gone for like, you know, 6 months or however long it was, 8 months, I think, if I remember correctly. And then they came back. And all the people are gone. Like, there's still, like, you know, like, there's stuff on the table. Like, it's as if they were just disappeared. And, like, all that was there was a single word, like, carved into a tree or something, and it just said Roanoke, or whatever. Now, some people speculate that, like, it could be paranormal. Other people say that maybe they were all just like killed by, you know, Native Americans, but there was no sign of a struggle. Other sources say that they just said F it and they went to go live with the natives because they didn't want to have to, like, you know, like the harshness of being a settler at the time. You know, the natives already had, you know, their own stuff going. Oh, let's go join them, you know.
I find that hard to believe because that's not their lifestyle. What does Roanoke mean?
Well, no, that's the Roanoke Island. That's what it's called.
But why would it say Roanoke? What significance does that have?
I think that's one of the tribes that lived in the area or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But there's a whole thing. But there was another thing here. Founded in 1607, created by the Virginia Company, a joint stock company. The goal of the Virginia Company in Jamestown was to make money, of course. First permanent English settlement in the New World. So there you go. To Jamestown. 1654, Jews were expelled from Brazil. Why? Here we go again. You know, I don't think the Brazilians just, you know, one day decided to wake up and hate the Jews. Something keeps happening. So, 1655, Dutch West Indies Company denied Peter Stuyvesant's desire to exclude Jews from New Amsterdam colony. So here we go again. 1677, Emperor Leopold I formed University of Innsbruck. I wonder if that's still around. 1721, a massive earthquake devastated the Iranian city of Tabriz. And I wonder if there's any estimates on the scale. This is actually not on primary source. This is from one of our secondary sources, as you can see by the exclamation point there, and not the one here in 1677. You know, but yeah, were there any deaths recorded? So, 1755, first Russian university opened in Moscow. Is that one still around?
Yeah.
You know. 1777, Sybil Logihan, at the age of 16, rode 40 miles in New York to warn her father's militia of the approach of the British. So 64 kilometers is 40 miles. Yeah, to alert American colonial forces to the approach of the British regular forces. So, yeah, so like, this is obviously, like we spoke about, you know, Paul Revere and all the other people. It wasn't just him.
What about this? Never heard of it.
Yeah, well, this is afterwards. Like this, you know,
still.
Yeah. But yeah, at the age of 16, warned her father, a girl, not just you know, I mean, a 16-year-old, you know, male child back in those times would be expected to be that proficient in everything. You know, you're basically an adult. You know, back in those times, but any woman, let alone 16, that is remarkable. And even in these times, to ride 40 miles like that, that's awesome. 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte signed a general amnesty to allow all but 1,000 of the most notorious émigrés of the French Revolution to return to France. What's an émigré? And this is on my other source. So actually, I'm gonna look up this article really quick just to see if there's anything on a surface level scratch of this. 1802 in France. Okay, well, it's just telling me what's going on in that time. Well, this was something about to consolidate Napoleon's power, according to this AI source. So, what else do we got here? 1803, meteorites fell in La Gale, France, and that's them right there. So thousands of meteor fragments fall from the skies of La Gale in France. The event convinced European scientists that meteors exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seeing is believing. So there you go. But yeah, right here. I want to read this. Scientists dismissed eyewitnesses as delusional for centuries, but when 3,000 stones rained down on La Gale, France in 1803, one man's report proved rocks do fall from space and forced astronomers to completely rethink the solar system. Dude, they were just putting it off. I mean, what's the point of being a scientist if you're just going to put off somebody else's theory?
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
Prove or disprove it if you can.
Yeah. 1819, Old Fellows Lodge formed. I'm just going to surface level scratch that because what is that? The Old Fellows Lodge.
I've heard of the Old Fellows before.
Yeah. Well, this is just telling me Old Fellows Manual. Maybe it's gone. I don't know.
I'd rather be with the Young Fellows.
Oh, the Odd Fellows. Sorry, not Odd Fellows Lodge. I did search Odd Fellow. For whatever reason, I read it as old. This is an Odd Fellows document library, so this is not giving me anything that I can really initially sink my teeth into for a quick answer. 1828, Russia declared war on Turkey to support Greece's independence. All right, and poor Greece. It's just, Greece, people don't realize, they've suffered quite often as well. They've been fighting for their shit since, before history was written. So, 1828, we got that one. 1841, Bombay Gazette began publishing on silk.
Ooh.
Silk. That's strange.
I think weren't the Chinese doing that, printing on, or at least writing on silk?
On silk, though. I mean, but silk is so smooth. Like, how would it stick?
I don't know.
Like,
makes no sense.
And that'd be weird. Like, and it's like it's not a rigid thing. So like you hold a newspaper, it's gonna kind of keep your shape. If it's your paper, if it's silk, you're just holding up this limp blanket.
Well, we don't know.
Unless you paperize the silk or something. Is there silk paper?
That's what I was gonna say. We don't know.
Yeah. No, it's still weird though. 1848, Alfred Russel Wallace departed the UK for South America, beginning 4 years of travel, collecting and researching in the region. So, awesome stuff. By the way, I saw a video on the HMS Beagle the other day. Just gave me a little bit more insight into Charles Darwin and all that stuff. The voyage of the Beagle was not for Charles Darwin, as maybe it was and everything, but the main the primary mission of the Beagle, as it was going around the whole world, was to charter courses, measure depths and all that stuff. It was mapping the world in more detail for international trade over the ocean and all that stuff. And Charles Darwin was on board, and while he was there, maybe he was with the survey team and all that stuff. But while he was on the voyage, he just so happened to document all the birds with the different beaks and everything. And then that led to his theory of not relativity. That's Einstein. His theory of evolution. So it's a really interesting
video.
video.
Over there, or what's that?
Galapagos, yes, yeah. 1859, U.S. Congressman Daniel E. Sickles was acquitted in the murder of Philip Barton Key on the grounds of temporary insanity, the first time this defense was used successfully in the U.S. And I really hoped, or I really wish, it would have been the last. What a cop-out to get out of murder, 1865, Confederate General Joseph E. Johnson surrendered remaining forces to Union General William Sherman at Bennett Place in Durham North Carolina, ending the American Civil War. So now we have a definitive statement because we spoke about, a week or so ago, remember, when Robert E. Lee surrendered his army of 26,000 some odd, whatever it was, the North Carolina regulars to Ulysses S. Grant. But that article said effectively ending it. Effective is not definitive.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So, and since then we've covered other battles in 1865, which is the last year of the war. So
the war was over but not done.
Yes, exactly. This though says ending. So this says definitive.
Yeah. These are minor generals surrendering the rest of the troops. Not minor generals, but it wasn't Ulysses S. Grant.
Which is really interesting now that I think about it, because we covered Abraham Lincoln's death a couple days ago. So the Civil War wasn't ended when he got assassinated. If this is to be...
No.
He got killed in 1865.
Yeah, is that what it was? His 8? I'm not sure.
Well, let me look this up here. When did Lincoln die? I don't think it was 1866. Yeah, April 14th. So that was 12 days ago, 1865. So, and that was actually a day after he got shot. Remember, he was alive for another 8 hours or something, and the next day.
Next morning or something.
Yeah, because and I know that because right here, right after this article that we've been talking about, we have 1865 as well. Union cavalry troopers corner and shoot dead John Wilkes Booth, the assassin of President Abraham Lincoln in Virginia. So, if they did that in 1865, Abraham Lincoln must have already been dead.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And here's actually an image of that. And as you can see, what a lot of people don't know is that they trapped him in a barn, and they actually set the barn on fire to draw him out. And I thought, I guess they did draw him out and they shot him or something. I don't know the exact details of the story, but that's why there's a building on fire. He was in there. So, 1879, National Park, later renamed Royal National Park, was established south of Sydney in Australia, world's second oldest national park. And I think we already covered the world's first a while ago. 1887, Huntsville Electronic Company formed to sell electricity. Okay, or electric company, not electronic. Electric company. So, 1893, first Cleveland Board of Park Commissioners formed. Okay. 1900, fires destroyed the Canadian cities of Ottawa and Hull, reducing them to ashes in 12 hours. 12,000 people were left without a home. That is tragic. It's in the other source I got that from, actually. 1901, Jimmy Collins, having left the Boston Bean Eaters of the National League, captained and managed his first game for the Boston Americans, losing 10-6 at the Baltimore Orioles. So I guess at their stadium or something. 1993, Atletico Madrid Association Football Club was founded. And then 1 year later, Bell Telephone Company of Antwerp, Belgium formed. Now they can call each other and everything. 1905, Cubs' Jack McCarthy became the only major league player to throw out 3 runners at plate in one game. All were ends of a double play.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. 1906, motion pictures began regular showings at the Orpheum Theater in Honolulu, Hawaii. So, scheduled pictures, not just random, sporadic and everything. 1 year later, after that, Jamestown, Virginia, Tercentenary. I'm trying to find it. This word. Tercentenary, I guess. What the hell is a tercentenary? Exhibition opened. Okay. It was a whole thing. Tercentennial. Tercentennial? Is that supposed to...
No.
It's ter.
I don't know what that is.
That's weird. And that's the image I used for the thumbnail, and I'll just look, because it's like a actually, what was that? Hold on. Jamestown Exposition, also known as the Jamestown Tercentennial Expedition of 1907, was one of the many world fairs. That's what the World Fair exhibitions that were popular in the United States in the early part of the 20th century. So it was a world fair, is what I've been trying to explain.
I wonder what tercentennial means.
Yeah,
it's something with 100 years, less than 100 or something.
I don't know, but look at all these pictures, and there's
there's
a Tartarian blimp. Look at that. But yeah, I'm gonna look up that word to see if what the hell that means. Tercentenary, the 300th anniversary of a significant event. Okay, well that makes sense because wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was 1607 when we said that Jamestown was founded, right? Today.
God, I've already forgot the date.
Well, you know, let me. I'll scroll up right here.
Shouldn't it be tricentennial? Why would it be tercentennial? It should be tri.
I have no idea, but I'm trying. Yeah, right here, 1607. So yeah, 300 years after it was the first. Yeah, we spoke about this today, right?
Yeah,
You know, this show. So, yeah, it's 1907. We'll make it 300 years. 1912, first home run hit at Fenway Park by Hugh Bradley of the Red Sox. 1913, Sun Yat-sen called for a revolt against President Yuan Shikai in China. 1915, Italy secretly signed the Treaty of London with Britain, France, and Russia, bringing Italy into World War I on the Allied side. So this is the first time they switched sides. Italy is the butt of a joke where they've switched sides during both World Wars, which they did. So, this is the first time, of course. 1920, Harlow Shapley and Herbert D. Curtis hold the great debate on the nature of nebula, galaxies, and the size of the universe at U.S. National Academy of Sciences in Washington, D.C. That would have been awesome to attend. So, 1920 as well, husband and wife team Ludwika and Walter Jacobson, representing Finland, win the pairs skating gold medal at the Antwerp Olympics. Ludwika was the only German-born athlete at the Games.
Jeez.
So any sport. Ice hockey made its Olympic debut at the Antwerp Games with center Frank Fredriksson scoring 7 goals in Canada's 12-1 drubbing of Sweden in the gold medal match. Oh, Sweden, come on, man. Lace up.
Step it up.
Yeah. 1925, artist Diego Rivera resigned from the Mexican Communist Party. Good move. So 1925 as well, Pulitzer Prize Pulitzer Prize was awarded to Edna Ferber for So Big. Is that what she said? Oh, I had to. You know, it's obvious joke. You know, set up is obvious. 25. Paul von Hindenburg defeated Wilhelm Marx in the second round of the German presidential election to become the first directly elected head of state of the Weimar Republic. Yeah, and I think that was the Second Reich. So, and of course, Nazi Germany being the Third Reich.
Yeah.
So, 1 century ago, 1926, Germany and Russia signed a neutrality peace treaty.
Wow.
Well, that would last until 1940. Yeah. Well, what?
40.
1940
or 39.
Well, the war started in 39, but Barbarossa was, I think, 40. You know, let me look this up here. When was Operation Barbarossa? 41. Okay, it was after what I thought. Yeah, that's when they invaded the Soviet Union.
But didn't it already start? If you really, Germany kind of went in, took Poland.
Well, he made an agreement.
Stalin? Peace in our time. No, Neville Chamberlain.
Oh, yeah.
So that was back in 38, I think.
No, Chamberlain. Yeah. Well, no. Nazi Germany invaded Poland in 1939, September 1.
It was 39. Okay.
Yes. No, I know that for a fact. And he had agreed secretly with Stalin to partition it, so he took that half, and then the Soviets invaded later. I used to thought they invaded the same day, but no, the Soviets invaded later. But World War I, that's when it's recognized as starting as the invasion of Poland from Germany. But yeah, and then 2 years later, Germany invaded the Soviet Union, and that turned out just well, huh? You know.
For us.
You would think that a veteran of World War I would know that it's not a smart idea to have a two-front war. He opened the second front, the idiot, over the Balkans because he knew that Stalin wanted them too. So he just pulled the move faster and he suffered for it.
As long as World War I took him France and they didn't really ever conquer it.
Yeah. And
he took France in 2 weeks. He thought he'd be in there in 2-3 weeks, be done.
Well, he did that because they couldn't do a war of attrition. They had to do it hard and fast. Otherwise, it would just end up like World War I again. But they didn't have the ability. Like most of their army was still horse and buggy. All of their technological marvels, they had a very limited amount in where they could allocate them of tanks, planes, all that stuff. No, the majority of their logistics was still horse and cart.
You're talking about Russia now?
No, Germany.
Oh.
During World War II. Like 90% of their logistics was horse and buggy. They had the technology, they just didn't have enough of it.
Yeah.
So they had to.
You can only produce so much.
They had to like smack France the hell out. Otherwise, they would just go back into trench warfare, and they could not win that kind of a war. They didn't have the equipment, so they had to do it hard and fast. That's the invention of Blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
And then we took a page out of Hitler's playbook with Desert Storm. We went in there hard and fast, shock and awe. You know, so. Anyway, we also have Karachi Autonomous Region formed in the RSFSR, lasted until 43. That was a while.
Of course, the football term blitz comes from the Blitzkrieg.
Well, you know what Blitzkrieg means, right?
Yeah.
What?
It means moving quick and fast and hit it hard.
Lightning war.
Okay, well, that's the same thing. Yeah.
Well, no, that's literally like in German, Blitz means lightning, and Krieg is war. Lightning war.
Yeah.
So
you move fast.
Yeah. 28 Madame Tussauds waxwork expedition reopened in London after a fire. Huh. I've never been in a Madame Tussauds. I want to go to one once.
I can't remember where, but I was in one somewhere. I don't know if it was Hollywood or what. But
probably London. You've been there.
I don't know. Somewhere I went. Yeah. But I was underwhelmed.
We also have 1929 first non-stop England to India flight landed. Okay, yeah, we spoke about that yesterday. So yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and I was just like, I wonder how long it took, because I'm stupid. 31, Lou Gehrig hit a home run, but was called out for passing a runner. Mistake cost him American League home run crown. He and Babe Ruth tied for the season.
Oh man, how do you do that?
How he did it. So, 33. Pardon me, 33 to repeat something that we covered yesterday. Jewish students were barred from school in Germany. From the other source, Nazi Germany issued the law against overcrowding in schools and universities, limiting the amount of Jewish students able to attend public schools and universities. Now, see, our own government does things like this, and let me explain. So, the law against overcrowding in schools and universities. Okay, you don't want people to overcrowd. Well, we don't want too much of a certain people, and some would argue, because you brought this up yesterday, let's replace Jews with Asians. We face this problem today. We don't want too many of those, so let's call it preventing overcrowding, but just not overcrowd one certain demographic. And then that way we can get away with, prejudice. Yeah. So that's how our government is doing that today. Exactly what the Nazis did, to the Jews. And that's why I say, as me being who I am, I know exactly how it felt to be a Jew in 1930s Germany. Not during the Holocaust. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're in the build-up to it, So, 33, the Gestapo, the official secret police force of Nazi Germany, was established by Hermann Göring. Yeah. 35, Frank Boucher was given NHL's Lady Byng Trophy for sportsmanship permanently for winning in 7 of 11 years. Wow. So that's awesome. She got a permanent trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to always think trophies were permanent, but, yeah.
Yeah, once you get it, you can't take it away.
Well, I mean, apparently you can. Didn't the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, take someone's gold medals away because they played in a professional sport?
Well, there's been a number of things that maybe you tested positive for drugs.
Well,
stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about
there are reasons for things to be taken away.
Yeah. So, what else do we got here? 1937, German Luftwaffe destroyed Basque town of Guernica, Spain. From the other source, it says during the Spanish Civil War, Guernica, Spain was bombed by the German Luftwaffe and the Italian Aviation Zone Legionaria. So, the German Condor Legion of the Luftwaffe. The secondary source was edited, as you can see, by the double exclamation point there. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is, now, we all know that the Luftwaffe during World War II, they were a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah.
But how did they get to be so strong? Because before the outbreak of World War II, they actually assisted Francisco Franco with his Civil War revolution in Spain. And that's why Spain was neutral, but still worked, under the radar with Germany and the Third Reich as a larger thing. And as I mentioned from this article, it was also the Italians. So, of course, the Italian Benito Mussolini.
Yeah.
The inspiration for Hitler. So yeah. 38, Austrian Jews required to register property above 5,000 Reichmarks. 41, a tradition began with the first organ at a baseball stadium. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like we all know that
game.
all started April 26, 1941.
Wow, before I was born.
Yeah. And before Mom was born too. She still has a few months.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. 1941 as well. Potatoes were rationed in Holland. War effort and all that stuff.
Yeah.
42, coal mine explosion killed 1,549 people at Honkyoko, Manchuria. Specifically 1,549 Chinese miners dead. So from the other source specifies their ethnicity. 43, the Easter riots broke out in Uppsala, Sweden. I think we covered that yesterday. We've been talking about the Easter riots. 44, first B-29 was attacked by Japanese fighters. One fighter was shot down. But it doesn't mention a B-29 shot down, so, we're getting the up and up on Japan there. 44 as well, Papandreou government in Greece formed. So, Georgios Papandreou became head of the Greek government in exile based in Egypt. So, he was leading his government in exile. And very much like how, what's-his-face, Charles de Gaulle did for the French. So, what else do we got here? 1945, Marshal Philippe Pétain, leader of France's Vichy collaborationist regime during World War II, was arrested for treason, and I hope he hung. I hope they hung him high on a tree, this guy. Piece of shit. 45, World War II, Battle of Bautzen, last successful German tank offensive of the war, and last noteworthy victory of the German Wehrmacht. 45 as well, during World War II, Filipino troops of the 66th Infantry Regiment, Philippine Commonwealth Army, US AFIPNL, that's a weird series of letters there, no idea what all that means, and the American troops of the 33rd and 37th Infantry Division, United States Army, are liberated in Baguio, and they fought against the Japanese forces under General Tomoyuki Yamashita. Alright. Loons time, 1947. Well, you're 46, but there was no 46 today, so I'm gonna bump you up a year. I turned you 79 again. You're welcome. Vivian Ellis and A.P. Herbert's musical "Bless the Bride" opened at Adelphia Theatre in London, running for 886 performances. 1949, Transjordan was officially renamed the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. We're not there that picture yet. 1950, last horse race at Javier de Grace track in MD was run. Maryland MD? I guess so. That's the initial for that state.
I don't know. Yeah.
University of Miami ended William and Mary's straight tennis match victories at 82. Shut him down. 52, Patty Berg scored 64, the best competitive round of golf by a woman. All right. I wonder if that record still stands.
Doubtful.
Congratulations. 52 as well, U.S. minesweeper Hobson rammed aircraft carrier Wasp, killing 167. Here we go with rammed, dude. I don't think a U.S. minesweeper is ramming anybody intentionally. Ram is like an act, is a suggestive word of intention.
Collide, but not
accidentally
ram.
collide, but 1954, Seven Samurai, Japanese film directed by Akira Kurosawa, starring Toshiro Mifune, was released. Sounds interesting. And this guy looks familiar. 54 as well, Far Eastern Affairs Conference opened in Geneva. The Geneva Conference, an effort to restore peace in Indochina and Korea, began. That makes sense. 54, mass trials of Jonas Salk's anti-polio vaccine began. The first shot was delivered in Fairfax County, Virginia. More than 443,000 children received shots over 3 months.
I got one.
Yeah, that was back when vaccines didn't try to kill you.
You had to get in line.
Yeah.
They had different centers. And then they had boosters that came along, and I was so happy when I had to go get another polio booster, but it was in a sugar cube.
Ooh.
I passed them out in a sugar cube.
Tasty. 56, first modern container ship, the Ideal X, left Port Newark, New Jersey for Houston, Texas. So that's an aerial view of the first, what would be considered a container ship by modern standards and everything. Now I want to show a side-by-side, and even this is not accurate to today, but right here, let me
look at that.
Yeah, let me show you.
Wow.
That's 2015, so that's 11 years old. You know that they're bigger than that today. I mean, there's only so big you can get because you still have to use the canals and all that
A lot
stuff.
of them can't go in the Panama Canal.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
Too big.
But look at that.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 1956, we got that one. Ideal X, the world's first successful container ship, left Port Newark, New Jersey for Houston, Texas. 57, Jamestown, Virginia, 350th anniversary festival opens. We gotta look for what was that you were talking about? The frickin' Freedom Bus or whatever? Like they're traveling the country.
Oh yeah.
Like, what was it called?
What was it? Freedom.
Truck.
American Freedom.
Freedom
Bus?
Truck. Freedom 250. Is this it? Freedom Truck Mobile Museums.
That's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this it? Freedom 250.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
this looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Big
gonna.
semis.
You know what? I'm gonna add this into the underbar. Freedom Truck. These guys are going around and setting up temporary museums and everything.
It's all set up, and they bring it to your town.
Oh.
And you walk through the museum, snake
Yeah.
through it, and there's all kinds of displays and things of the history of the United States.
Hold on a second. That's Mississippi, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, Kansas. I'm gonna bigger this.
Get California.
I gotta find California. Live Oak. I have no idea where that is.
Oh yeah, that's in the valley.
Okay, we gotta keep that in mind. I'm trying to see if there's any other Californias. Well, I'll look at this later.
More than just one.
Yeah, there has to be because I've already seen 3 Floridas, so there has to be more California. I'll look at that later. And if you guys want to check it out, I will leave that in the underbar section. Right here. That will be in the description after the live stream here. Moving on up, what else do we got here? 1958, final run of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad's Royal Blue from Washington, D.C. to New York after 68 years. The first U.S. passenger train to use electric locomotives. Let's see here. B&O, Baltimore. Yeah, you remember the B&O Railway from Monopoly?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that stands for the Baltimore and Oregon. All those railroads were real railroads at one point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and everybody likes to make fun of that one in particular because B&O, it's B&O. This one stinks,
I had a friend in high school. His initials were B.O.
Dude, I had a friend in high school. Maybe I shouldn't say his name, but just in case. We called him JC. Just in case. His parents must have hated him. Oh. Yeah, anyway, 1960, forced out by the April Revolution, President of South Korea Syngman Rhee resigned after 12 years of dictatorial rule. Yeah, get his ass out of there. 1961, French paratroopers revolt suppressed in Algeria, or their revolt was suppressed in Algeria. Okay, that was in 1961. So right here, 61 as well. New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris hit first of 61 homers in 61. 61 for 61. Look at that.
Yeah.
And today we're 26-26.
He broke Babe Ruth's home run record.
Ah, nice. 62, first Lockheed A-12 flight. I'm going to look this bird up. Oh, it's this one here.
Ooh.
And it looks like the SR-71 kind of. So maybe, I think that might have been a predecessor.
Maybe.
They took some lessons and they keep the body slightly and everything. But I want to bring up an image. I'm not sure if this was real because it actually looks like a 71 and 72 when you look at the cockpits. But this doesn't seem real. They're fused.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Why would there be dual cockpits? That doesn't make sense.
Well, no, there are planes with dual cockpits.
Why would they have that?
Well, I don't know for this example, but I've shown you. Hold on a second. Dual cockpits aircraft. We saw an image of it. Or not, but we covered it. Remember that huge plane to take payloads up in the air? Hold on. Largest plane. Let's see if I can find it this way. No, it's not this one either. Come on. This one. Remember this guy?
Oh, yeah.
That's a dual cockpit, too.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
And this one I know is real because I haven't seen it in person, but I know this is real. And both cockpits are cockpits. You have 2 pilots. They're flying. But I think they have, a connected control or something.
Most likely, yeah. That's weird.
So,
I wonder what's the
well, no,
advantage of
because they
doing that?
carry massive payload. Like, you remember, like, the X-51? They took it up high altitude, and then they drop it so that way they can see how high it can fly under its own power without taking off from the ground.
Yeah.
That's what this does.
Oh,
This is another platform to deliver payloads to space.
Okay,
Instead of
okay.
using rockets,
Yeah.
they take a rocket with them between the fuselages,
okay.
and then they drop it and it launches it already halfway up in the air, rather than off the ground. So, what else do we got here? 1962, Ranger 4 crash landed on the backside of the moon. Alright. 62 as well, US and UK launched Ariel, the first UK satellite and the first international payload. So, yeah, the British space program launched its first satellite, the Ariel 1, and that's what this is. That's what it looked like. So, 1962, we got that one. US and UK launched Ariel. 63, in Libya, amendments to the constitution transformed Libya, the United Kingdom of Libya, into one national unity, the Kingdom of Libya, and allowed for female participation in elections.
Oh, how about
Awesome!
that?
Yeah. And that's not even covered on the main source. You'd think a leftist thing would praise, women's rights, but the left actually don't want women's rights. They just use women to get votes. 64, 10
Gaddafi took that over, though, I think.
Yeah, Libya, yeah. And then he got Gaddafi to knife up the bum, and survived it, unfortunately. 64, Tanganyika and Zanzibar merged to form the United Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. Okay. 65, Charles Ives' Fourth Symphony premiered at Carnegie Hall, New York, 11 years after the composer's death.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. 66, an earthquake of magnitude 7.5 destroyed Tashkent, Uzbekistan, affecting the largest city in Soviet Central Asia with a maximum MSK Mercari, intensity of 7, very strong. Tashkent was mostly destroyed, between 15 to 200 are killed. That's a rather big discrepancy, but that's what it says from the other source there. 1966, International Olympic Committee, the IOC, voted to award the German city of Munich the right to host the 1972 Summer Olympic Games. Oh, you know what's coming up then. In 72, Munich, Palestine, Israel.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, God. 67, San Marco 2 launched the first equatorial launch. So is that launching from the equator? Equatorial?
Yeah.
I mean, Cape Canaveral isn't on the equator. It's down there, but Florida's not that far. 68, student seized an administration building at Ohio State. I think we spoke about that yesterday, or maybe this is a different
we did. I don't
different
know if it's the same,
happenstance.
but we did. Yeah, we did speak something like that.
Yeah. We also have U.S. underground nuclear text boxcar, the first megaton device. Megaton. Not kiloton, but megaton. 70, the convention establishing the World Intellectual Property Organization entered into force. Well, clearly I'm not going to be able to join that because I couldn't even read intellectual. I'm stupid. 71, heaviest rains ever in Bahia district of Brazil, 15 inches in 24 hours. That's
Jeez.
A lot of water.
Yeah.
San Francisco lightship replaced by automatic buoy. What is a lightship? This is apparently a lightship. It says San Francisco on it. And I have a note here telling me to image search this because it showcases the actual ship with its supposed replacement buoy. But too bad the image is so small. But yeah, I'm just gonna see what it says on the web here. Okay, this isn't giving me really anything. So out with the old and with the new, I guess. So it's being replaced. 1974, landslide in Huancavelica province, Peru, created a natural dam. Okay. 74 as well, Malta adopted a constitution. All right. 75, MLB Philadelphia Phillies slugger Mike Schmidt's 2 home runs and 7-3 win over the Pirates at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh tied National League record of 11 home runs in April. Nice. 76, Pan Am began nonstop flights between New York City and Tokyo. That's a long flight. Yeah. Wow. That's literally half circling the globe. At that point, it doesn't matter. Eventually, you're going to turn going to coming. What else do we got here? 1977, opening of Studio 54 in New York, New York. Famous Studio 54. 1978, NASA launched space vehicle S201. And in case you're wondering what that is, It's just like another rocket launch
yeah.
vehicle, you know. So
Yeah.
that's still interesting, you know, to see rockets throughout history. 1980, Iran began scattering U.S. hostages from the U.S. embassy. That sounds like they're hiding them, you know, moving them
Yeah,
away.
exactly what they're doing.
Oh, why did we ever work with those fuckers, dude? What the hell?
We're gonna see where we blew it right there when they did that, and when they first captured him. Even before that,
Well, now
it's
they're
an
being
act of war.
Yeah, but now this is being childish. It's like, no, we're gonna play keep away, or well, fuck you, Iran. We should have fucking wiped them
But
clean.
that is an act of war.
Yeah, no, this is beyond that. This is ridiculous. 1980, longest jump by a jet boat was set at 120 feet. I wonder if it's still the longest jump, and if it's not,
What does that mean?
well, like you're in a jet boat and you hit a jump.
Oh yeah,
and you
they,
get out of the
okay,
water.
Yes, they do those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was in the air for 120 feet. So now I
That's-
wonder.
That's getting some serious air.
Yes, actually, I'm gonna see. It's 1980, so I wonder if there's a video of it. I'm gonna do a surface level scratch of this, but I wonder if it's still the record. Why am I getting eggs on a toilet? Well, do not try this on
Another
a toilet.
toilet.
I'm not gonna put eggs on my toilet. You don't have to tell me not to try this on my toilet. I'm not going to do that on my
What
toilet.
did it have to do with jet skis?
I don't know. So.
At least it wasn't a flaming toilet.
Oh, or a wheelchair like yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
That was set up. I'm sorry.
That was yeah. But yeah, no. You know, contact David Rush. You know, just set a new record. 1980, MLB Philadelphia Phillies. Steve Carlton pitched his 6-1 hitter in 7-0 win over St. Louis Cardinals at Veterans Stadium. First National League record to 6-1 hitters. So
he missed it 6 times doing a no-no.
81, Dr. Michael R. Harrison of the University of California, San Francisco Medical Center performed the world's first human open fetal surgery. Whoa, that's precision. 82, Argentina surrendered to British forces on South Georgia Island near the Falkland Islands. So I guess that's during that Falkland thing.
Yeah.
We also have Rod Stewart was mugged. The gunman stole his $50,000 Porsche on Hollywood Boulevard, Los Angeles, California.
Wow. Welcome to LA.
Yeah, welcome to California, motherfucker. 82, 57 people were killed by former police officer Wu Bum Kong in a shooting spree in South Gyeongsang province in South Korea. Holy crap, dude. 57? Why wasn't he taken down before that? That is ridiculous. 83, Dow Jones Industrial Average broke 1,200 for the first time. All right. 84, Liverpool's Cavern Club reopened, and that's where the Beatles started, right? The Cavern Club?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have U.S. President Ronald Reagan visited China. I don't know why. 86, experimental aircraft Piasecki P-897 Helistat, a combination of 4 helicopters and a blimp, crashed during first test flight, killing 1 pilot at U.S. Naval Air Station in Lakehurst, New Jersey. What contraption are they manifesting? What? A combination of 4 helicopters and a blimp? What the hell? What? Oh, good lord. Look at this thing. They, like, MacGyvered. Like, they just welded helicopters onto a metal superstructure and put a blimp in the middle. This is ridiculous. No wonder it exploded. Like,
what's the point of that?
You know, they were so preoccupied thinking whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think whether or not they should.
Yeah.
You know, that's a quote from somewhere. I can't put my finger on it. So, that's from Jurassic Park, of course. 86, game between Angels and Twins was delayed for 9 minutes by strong winds. Yeah. 86 as well, the world's worst nuclear disaster, the 4th reactor Chernobyl nuclear power station in the Soviet Union exploded. 31 people died and radioactive contamination reached much of Western Europe. So, yeah.
The contamination just went all over Europe.
Yeah. Now, you were talking to me...
Wind currents.
Yeah. Roof scene. You're talking to me about, like, you know, people like, who went out to do cleanup and all that stuff. Now, this is a scene. There's a mini-series called Chernobyl. And it covers, like, the lead up, the during, and, a lot of the aftermath of the events, you know, of this. And this is afterwards. And in this scene, you get to see through the eyes of one of these roof cleaners. They go out here and you can hear the Geiger counter. You know, like that's what they would actually be hearing right now if you're out there on the roof. It's that radioactive. But all this stuff here, that's all. What was it that I called this? Not carbon. Graphite. It's in the title. It's all graphite, and their job is to pick it up with shovels and here he's throwing it into the exposed reactor core. You know, now, you know, I'm going to go back here. Listen to the Geiger counter. And this is what they would actually be hearing if you were there. He's already dead.
Yeah.
He will die. You know, like that's, you know, the balls on these people who volunteered to do
Did they
that.
volunteer?
Yeah, I think a lot of them volunteered.
Oh, okay.
Like, but it's a great mini series. I have yet to see it, but I've seen a lot of scenes, and I would recommend it. So.
Boy, now I want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you want, like after the show, like you know, if you want to take a shower and come back in or whatever afterwards, but I can play a couple scenes. There's some really good scenes from that show, especially like the actual events of it blowing up. Like, oh
wow.
man, I gotta show you that. 1988 AO's time. There wasn't an 87, but there wasn't a 46. So here we go. First, TNN Viewers' Choice Awards. Randy Travis won in 5 categories. Pardon me, I don't have any idea who the hell that was.
Randy Travis?
Yeah.
Country western singer? Big
Yeah,
time.
okay. 88 as well. NBA approved the addition of third referee in the 1988-89 season.
Yeah.
We also have New York Met. Davey Johnson became second manager to record 400 victory in the first 4 years. Al Lopez was the first. Okay. 89, AT&T announced New Jersey's 201 area code split into 908 and 201. 89, Mike Tyson got a speeding ticket for drag racing his Lamborghini in Albany, New York. No. 89 as well, the deadliest known tornado struck central Bangladesh, killing upwards of 1,300, injuring 12,000 more, and leaving as many as 80,000 homeless.
Jeez.
Wow. Horrible. We also have People's Daily published the April 26th editorial, which inflamed the Nankin Tiananmen Square protests. Yeah, that's, you know, boiling point coming up. Yeah. 1990, 126 people died in a 6.9 magnitude earthquake in China. 1990 as well, Danny Wood of New Kids stepped on a stuffed animal and twisted his ankle.
Why do we care
about that? How do you fuck up on a stuffed animal like that hard? You know, how do you twist your ankle stepping on? It's a stuffed animal. You get taken out by a pillow. You bones are made of glass. You pansy. 1990, New York Court of Appeals ended a 2.5-year legal battle over 1988 America's Cup by refusing jurisdiction of case. 90 as well, Texas Rangers Nolan Ryan tied Bob Feller's record of pitching 12 one-hitters in a 1-0 win over Chicago White Sox at Arlington Stadium. Yeah, Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
91 as well, soccer star Diego Maradona suspended for using cocaine, arrested in Argentina for possession and distribution of illegal narcotics. Yeah, football legend good. Apparently.
I don't know.
Well, that's what it says there, football legend.
I don't know of them, but I don't know sport.
Not soccer for us.
I know.
So
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't follow it.
Yeah. 91, 23 people were killed in Kansas and Oklahoma by tornadoes. The other source says 55 tornadoes broke out in central United States. Before the outbreaks in Andover, Kansas, world would record the year's only F5 tornado. So, yeah. 92, now F's, I think, stand for fathoms or something. Now, I used to think that, you know, like F1, F2, F3, I used to think that was the size of them. Because
that's the power of the wind.
Yeah, well, like, you know, like the more power, the bigger. But like, and as I mentioned, about a couple days ago, we covered, you know, this article that, remember, that said 3 mile wide tornado.
Yeah.
Like, I thought a mile wide was big, you know, and they portrayed that in the movie Twister and everything. They even called that the finger of God, you know. But it's like a 3 mile tornado. Like, you're talking about a hurricane on steroids at this point, bro. Like, holy shit. Like. 1992, Growing Pains, final episode on ABC TV. And we also have Who's the Boss, final episode after 8 years on ABC TV as well.
I remember that. I can't remember what it was about. It was a sitcom, but...
Yeah, Growing Pains,
I remember hearing about that. I don't know what it was. I probably saw it before.
Wasn't that, like, you know, What You Talking About, Willis? And all that stuff, or am I thinking of something else?
just not sure.
Growing pains. Oh yeah, we already got the Chernobyl stuff. I'm gonna look up growing pains just to see what it was. Growing pains. No, it was. Okay, well, it wasn't the Willis one. I don't know then.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, the Willis, I think, was different strokes. You don't remember what you're talking about, Willis?
I remember it.
Yeah.
It could have been different
I think
strokes,
that was different strokes, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I remember the name Growing Pains and Who's the Boss, but I don't know where they're at. We gotta go, though. We're 5 minutes to our hour. 92, Alex Haley, the author of Roots, won 1992 Ellis Island Award posthumously.
Great
Yeah,
series.
yes. 92 as well, MLB St. Louis Cardinals, Ozzie Smith stole his 500th base. Ooh. Somebody arrest this man. He's a thief. Serial base robber, grand theft base. 93, NBC announced Conan O'Brien to replace David Letterman on late night. Okay. 93 as well, STS Columbia launched into orbits. And that was that would be a nothing article if it wasn't for our other source. Space Shuttle Columbia on mission STS-55 launched into orbit carrying Space Lab D2 laboratory. So a section of the Space Lab, the space station, the laboratory section. And to conduct experiments upon there. 94, 26.9 degrees Celsius in Pressebakke, Norway. Norwegian April high temperature record. Now that's high. Like that's, what is that in Fahrenheit though?
I don't know.
Let's see. C to F. That is 80.42 Fahrenheit. So that's toasty.
Yeah.
In Norway?
Yeah, in Norway in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
94, first day of voting in the first ever multiracial elections in South Africa. Dr. Nomeza Payton in New Zealand was the first black South African to vote. Oh. Okay. 1994, physicists announced the first evidence of the top quark subatomic particle. Yeah, that sounds familiar, top quark and all that stuff. Taiwan, Airbus A300 crashed at Nagoya, Japan. 262 people died. 260. Other source says 264 of the 271 passengers. So, rest in peace. 95, baseball season began after a lengthy strike, and we have Coors Field open in Denver. Rockies defeated the Mets 11-9 in 14 innings. 96, Sean Pollock took 4 wickets and 4 balls for Warwickshire and B&H. There you go. 96 as well, Southbury ended 4-day auction of Jackie O stuff taken. $34.5 million.
We talked about that the other day.
Yeah. So, well, I guess 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Because we spoke about it when it started.
Yeah.
98, Guatemalan human civil rights activist, or I guess human rights activist, Juan Jose Gerdari was bludgeoned to death by army officers in his home in Guatemala City. Holy shit. Way to prove his point. 99, BBC presenter Jill Dando was shot and killed outside her London home. Launches Metropolitan Police's largest murder inquiry. The crime remains unsolved. So, 99 as well, we have outbreak of the CIH computer virus. I would like to look that up as the note suggests, but we do not have the time. 2002, Robert Steinhauser infiltrated and killed 17 people at Gutenberg Gymnasium in Erfurt, Germany, before committing self-deletion with his pew-pew. So, now the other source just said self-deletion, didn't mention the method, but, we know here it's a self-inflicted pew-pew. 2005, under international pressure, Syria withdrew the last of its 14,000 troop military garrison in Lebanon, ending its 29-year military domination of the country. By,
Yeah.
2007, Queen's Pier was officially closed by the Hong Kong government to facilitate land reclamation in Hong Kong Central District after a bitter struggle by conservationists. Yeah, well, China don't give a shit. 2012, Indonesia suspended imports of American beef after a confirmed case of mad cow disease in California. Here we go again, California, affecting people in a negative way across the world. 2014, Oratio for Chorus, evoking Pennsylvania coal mining life, anthracite fields by composer Julia Wolfe, premiered in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, later to receive the Pulitzer Prize for Music in 2015. Now I need to hear this, so I'm gonna load this up for myself later on. What else do we got here? 2015 as well. FC Football Club Bayern Munich won the 2014-2015 Bundesliga for a 25th time.
Jeez.
they're good. 2015 as well, Nursultan Najariye. You know, you pronounce his name, but that was what, 2015? This dude here. You read that better. Was re-elected president of Kazakhstan with a 97.7% of the vote. That's a little suspicious there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also still the first president of Pakistan.
For how many years?
Yeah. You know, that is a good question. When did he start? 1991. He won Kazakhstan's first presidential election with 95% of the votes. So,
91 to 15 or 16, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, in 91 he won 95%. In 2015 he won 97.7%, and in 2019 he announced his resignation after nearly 30 years in office, the last Soviet-era head of state. So that's why he was a Soviet, a communist, not just a Ruski. What do we got here? 2016, CEO of Chobani, Hamdi Ulukia, announced that he will be giving his employees 10% of the shares of Chobani. Okay. 2017, The Handmaid's Tale debuted on Hulu, starring Elizabeth Moss, Joseph Fiennes, and Yvonne Strahovski, based on the book by Margaret Atwood. And man, dude, is this title being thrown around everywhere today? The Handmaid's Tale this, The Handmaid's Tale that, you know? So, 2017 as well, Gift Nagobi became the first black African to play in Major League Baseball for the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right. 2018, comedian Bill Cosby was found guilty of sexual assault in Pennsylvania. I think he was an innocent victim of the Me Too movement. I don't know. Like, I think him and Louis C.K. are innocent of their accusations. That's just me. So, 2018, NFL Draft, Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield, first pick by Cleveland Browns. 4 quarterbacks taken in top 10 selections for first time in history. Yeah. 2018 serial killer Golden State Killer, identified after 40 years as a former police officer responsible for 12 killings, 50 struggle snuggles in California. Well, I hope they found him, or I hope he's already dead. So, 2019, No Religion topped survey of U.S. religious identity for the first time at 23.1%, edging out Catholics 23.0%, and evangelicals at 22.5%, and long-running general social survey. Well, we are a godless society these days, after all. No wonder we're getting punished like the times of Sodom and Gomorrah. So, something's coming. Something big. Something changing. 2019, 6 suspected militants connected to Sri Lankan terror attacks killed, along with 10 others in a shootout with police in St. Thammaranadu. You haven't made any comments lately. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Just rolling along.
2019, Waiari people of Pastiza won a landmark environmental case against the Ecuadorian government to protect 500,000 acres of their territory in the Amazon rainforest. Good.
Yeah, they need to.
We also have Marvel Studios' blockbuster film Avengers Endgame was released, becoming the highest grossing film of all time, surpassing the previous box office record, Avatar. Not The Last Airbender, though. Different Avatar. I
never saw Avatar.
Yeah, well, basically they're giant Smurfs, but they're hippie Smurfs. You know, it's just propaganda. 2021, Kanye West Nike Air Yeezy first one prototype trainers sold for a record $1.8 million in a private sale at Sotheby's. Who the hell would want to buy this lunatic's footwear? Some people need therapy. 2021, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced Turkey will go into full lockdown until May 17 to curb a Kung Flu surge and world's 4th highest caseload. That same year, the U.S., the EU, and other countries announced they are sending pandemic aid to India as its Kung Flu crisis continued to worsen. We also have U.S. Census results showed its population growth second lowest in recorded history. Population is at 331,449,281, with only 7.4% increase in 2011 or 2010 even.
Over 10 years.
Yeah, 11 years. So. 2022, Russia said it will stop supplying gas to Poland and Bulgaria after the countries refused to pay in rubles, escalating the energy supply standoff between Russia and Europe. More of this stuff. U.S. infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony, believe the science, Fauci, said the country is out of the pandemic phase for the moment, almost as if he has his hand on a button. Oh yeah, we're out of the phase today, but I might feel different tomorrow. We'll see. Like he controls it, which he might not, but the system certainly shit does. 2022, World Bank warned the war in Ukraine will cause the largest commodity shock since the 70s, with large economic and humanitarian efforts.
Why?
They just want to sow fear into the populace. 2023, Brazilian Portuguese language Michaelis Dictionary added Pele as a new adjective to its online edition, meaning exceptional, incomparable, and unique.
So Pele was a great soccer player.
Yes, football is there, right there, yeah. Brazilian Portuguese, we got that one. U.S. President Joe Biden, Brandon, announced his bid for a second term, saying he has a job to finish. A job to finish? He didn't even start it. All he did was build back worse. Finish my ass, he didn't even get started. 2023, writer E. Jean Carroll testified in a New York court that Donald Trump struggle-snuggled her in a department store in the late 90s. Or in the 90s, in the 1990s. Okay, well then why didn't you say something back then? 2024, 106 tornadoes tore through Nebraska, Iowa, Texas, Kansas, and Missouri, destroying hundreds of homes. 2025, Pope Francis was buried at Rome's Papal Basilica of St. Mary Major after a Vatican ceremony. Hundreds of thousands lined the streets and filled St. Peter's Square to pay tribute during the funeral. And last but not least, from the secondary source, a car ramming attack at Lapu Day Festival killed 11 people and injured at least 30 more in Vancouver, Canada. Wow, I think I remember hearing about that. And even like, oh hey, something happened in your neck of the woods, So, anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of that history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion from two sources. All of this is what we went through over the past hour and 7 minutes. So please, I implore you to continue your path of self-education utilizing our links, if you do so wish. For your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream every day at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you are you. And speaking of viewers and yous, do we have any comments here going on? Where did my other thing go? Is this it? Yeah, wait, no, that's not it. Here it is. Nope, no comments. And yeah, you are you. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! And we wait a second, and then we can end, and then we end here.